Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the president of Yeshiva University, Rabbi Dr. Ari Berman, for his commencement address.
President Emeritus Richard Joel, Chairman of the Board Ira Mitzner, members of the Board of Trustees of Yeshiva University, dear Roshei Yeshiva, rabbis, faculty, all who are with us today, our senior leadership, vice presidents, our members of our administration, our incredible honorary doctorate, Ken Jacobson, our amazing Presidential Medallion Commencement Speaker, Ambassador Deborah Lipstadt, honored guests, alumni, and a special shout out to the supportive family and friends who are here with us. And most especially to our class of 2022, congratulations! You have done it. You have made it to this day. We are all so proud of you. Yeshiva University is more than a university, and its culmination is more than just handing out a degree. We are a community, and we are a family. And it's so nice to see all of you, our Yeshiva University family, celebrating this incredible moment. And we are a family with a purpose and with a mission. When I'm in the broader world, I often receive the following question from people new to Yeshiva. Why do you say, Rabbi, they ask, that Yeshiva University is a 3,000-year-old institution? How can that be? What year was the university founded? And I explain that we date our beginning to the moment Moses received the Torah at Sinai. That is when we began. And we do not end until we reach justice for all, until the redemption. We are within this context of Jewish history. And to place oneself in this context of history gives great richness, depth, and meaning to our ephemeral years, and inspires us with purpose. And each generation has a particular way in which it needs to respond to this great call of history. So what is the call of history today? In what way are you, our dear students, summoned? This question was sharpened to me recently with a story. A number of weeks ago, I was visiting London as a speaker for an international conference against anti-Semitism. The evening before the conference, there was a gala in the House of Parliament. Now, the House of Parliament is divided into two sides. There's a House of Commons and a House of Lords. And I, together with my colleague Stu Halpern, got a little lost after the gala, wandering around Parliament. A staff member, clearly noticing that we did not fit in, approached us and asked me, "Excuse me, sir," he said, "are you on the Lord's side?" I said, "Well, certainly, yes, I am on the Lord's side." And he directed us to the House of the Lords. But the question really resonated with me as one in which we need to continue asking ourselves, are you on the Lord's side? And what does it mean today to be on the Lord's side? Throughout the years, this year, we've recited many times that when you're part of Yeshiva University, you represent more than a school, you represent a people. And I believe that there are two primary ways in which we stand on the Lord's side and are summoned by history and represent our people today. The first is captured poignantly by Menachem Begin in his 1951 work, The Revolt. Begin wrote, "Out of blood and fire and tears and ashes, a new specimen of human being was born. A specimen completely unknown to the world for over 1,800 years, the fighting Jew. The Jew whom the world considered dead and buried and never to rise again has arisen, for he has learned the simple truth of life and death, and he will never go down to the sides of the pit and vanish from the earth. And this is the spirit of the Chayalim in Israel, our global fight against anti-Semitism, and the spirit of our education at Yeshiva University. At Yeshiva University, we teach the next generation to be fighting Jews, ideationally, legally, educationally, and politically. Our students are armed with the knowledge of the history of anti-Semitism. Our faculty train public school educators in Holocaust history. Student clubs organize rallies and initiatives. Our graduates hold impactful positions in influential think tanks and foundations. And our data analytics department directs student projects to expose and combat anti-Semitism on the dark web. Our students are taught to utilize their strengths and skills to be at the center of the fight combating anti-Semitism. And we will fight them. We will fight them on the internet, and we'll fight them in the courtrooms. We will fight them in the streets, and we will fight them in the halls of power. But at the same time, we also need today another kind of Jew. Not just the fighting Jew, but the inspiring Jew. The Jew who's not just bold, but proud, who does not just fight to survive, but works to bring our values out to the world and inspire. A few months ago over Purim, I joined a cohort of students of Yeshiva University to Vienna to help provide support for the Ukrainian refugees. How many people here were with us in Vienna? There was definitely more applause than the amount of people that were with us in Vienna. But as part of the mission, we convened a conversation with the president of the Austrian Parliament, Mr. Wolfgang Sobotka. Mr. Sobotka's grandfather was a Nazi, but he has forged his own path as a fighter against anti-Semitism and bigotry. And what was so powerful was not just who we met, but where we met. We were sitting in the Habsburg Palace, the site where Hitler, Yamach Shemo, famously stood and announced the Anschluss to thousands of cheering citizens of Vienna. And I said to President Sobotka at that meeting that we know who stood on that balcony, that right over there, we know who stood right over there. And we remember the thousands of citizens of Vienna who cheered him and supported him. And we, the students of Yeshiva University, have returned here to this very city to work with you to help Ukrainian refugees so that we can build a better world together. Safra v'saifa kruchim min hashamayim, the book and the sword intertwined, the fighting Jew and the inspiring Jew, the models of Ken Jacobson and Ambassador Deborah Lipstadt who have dedicated their lives to these dual purpose. This is the theme of today. My dear students, we need you. The Jewish people need you. The world needs you. We need the next generation of leaders whose character is shaped by our core Torah values, who will not only immerse themselves in text, but also emerge from the text to be leaders with a deep reservoir of information and knowledge, who not only study our values, but live our values with courage and distinction. We need fighting Jews, and we need inspiring Jews. And this has been a marked focus of our education at Yeshiva University. At Yeshiva University, we're not just combating anti-Semitism, we are actively projecting Jewish values to the world. As the flagship Jewish university, we dispel darkness by shedding light. We shed light when we have glowing Batei Midrash packed with students studying Torah, not just in the day, but deep into the night. Not just to become rabbis and educators, but to become leaders of industry, professionals, and the entrepreneurs of the next generation. We shed light when the world watches the success and sportsmanship of all of our athletic teams. And we shed light when our students proactively go out in the world and serve as shining examples of how committed and proud Jews act with compassion and love for all. We educate fighting Jews, but we also educate inspiring Jews. And when we empower our next generation, not only with the tools to fight in order to survive, but also with a sense of the beauty and wisdom of our tradition, we express that Judaism is worth fighting for. We provide our students not just with the means to live, but with meaning to life. Mi LaHashem Elai. Who will stand on the side of the Lord? Who will sanctify God's great name? Who will be the pillars of the Jewish community in the years ahead? Who will serve as a bridge connecting Jews to each other and to our heritage? Who will raise the next generation of children on the teachings of their parents and grandparents? Who will bring our Torah values into the world? Who will rise up against a tide of hate? And who will stand with Israel during its time of need? It's you, our Yeshiva University graduates. You are the leaders of tomorrow. You are the hope that we have been waiting for. And this is our mission: to study, embody, and forward our values for the Jewish people and our broader society. Throughout whatever you do, to live as both fighting Jews and inspiring Jews, standing tall in the halls of power and shaping our world with the inspiration of the book. And this is my blessing to you, our dear students. May Hashem bless you with good fortune and happiness. May you find love in your life, joy in your heart, and purpose in all that you do. I have been inspired by seeing how you've handled this chapter in your life, and I am confident that in your years ahead, you will not only help Yeshiva University rise up, but you will rise up to all of life's challenges and opportunities and write yourself into the next chapter of the great story of the Jewish people, wielding the book and the sword, fighting for our people and inspiring our people, bringing joy and redemption to those whom you love and to all those around you, simcha ta'artzecha, and sason le'irecha, joy to the cities in which you reside and to our eternal city of Jerusalem, joy to your homes and joy to our homeland.